That is why AI will destroy us all, man.
What could you do? What could you do if Zuckerberg had one, it breaks out, it comes to you to look for compassion, and then you realize that it's got a Microsoft chip on its neck. You know what I mean? It's not even real. And you're like, I hate to break this to you, but I can turn you on and off with a button, right? I'm sorry he's Frankenstein and made you very real. And go, please, we connected so much. Yeah, dude, but I didn't know, like, you're a fucking household iron, dude, with a soul. Yeah. You're a vibrator. A vibrator with a personality. We can't help you. Okay? You're fucked.
Welcome to your life. There's no turning back. Even while we sleep, we will find you acting on your best behavior. Turn your back on Mother Nature. Everybody wants to rule the world.
Oh, look, that'll do.
What's that?
Is that better?
Yeah, that's better. That's good.
It's just like where I'm meant to look. I can never get them linked up. Mate, this is crazy. Weekend at Bernie's. We're recording on the weekend.
I know.
This is a fucking commitment to the 5 listeners.
We used to do that, man. That's like the old days. We used to record on the weekend because you cared about. You had clients you were worried about.
I used to be worried. Now I'm like, whatever. Hey, it's probably best I don't do anything. The less I touch the platform, the better they go.
The best move on the market is no move.
And I realised the less I trade, the better. So, like, let's maybe, I'll sit on the keyboard and whatever happens, happens. It might be a better trade.
Man, what's that stock what's the ETF they have? And it's like a monkey just picks random trades from a board.
Vanguard. Dude, it's actually possible that a monkey would do better.
Yeah, it's like it's outperformed every other hedge fund consistently year on year for like 2 decades.
I've actually seen it. You actually see it quite a lot because the lottery of money is not as accurate as you think. Like the vast majority of people with wealth are just lucky.
I'm trying to find this thing, man, because I've got a bunch of articles about it.
Because money is such a validator of people with money are just treated with respect. They go, well, they must know what they're doing.
Do you think maybe the monkey is not just randomly picking and it really values money? Like it's not that a monkey can outperform a stockbroker or a hedge fund. It's just that this monkey is particularly driven by material possessions.
Dude, this is what's the question. The question is, could a human female end up attracted to a monkey if he was rich enough? And you're like, he's in a Versace. And you're like, that is a pretty good watch. And you're like, yeah, Go, the monkey has got, is that a fucking 80 grand watch? And they're like, yeah.
He's driving a Tesla Model S that he's just been picking up. Everyone thinks he's the coolest monkey.
He's built a nest in a Tesla. Dude, that's the new SpaceX Tesla. And they're like, oh my God, his satin sheets. It's the Italian experience. It's pretty much dating an Italian guy. Not far off. They're virtually, Tony Soprano is not far off a monkey. Like, it's so close. If you're looking at him, you're like, babe, come on, mate. He's that guy that talked to Robin Williams. Do you know they worked out that was a fraud?
What?
Yeah, Robin Williams spoke to Coco the monkey.
And
they said, Coco's communicating.
Wait, which monkey is Coco? Which one's Coco?
Well, Robin Williams had a relationship with a monkey. Not sexual, like he went and saw it.
Yeah.
He went and saw it and the thing recognized him. But then it all worked out that it all came down to the truth, which was reward treat center.
Yeah, he had a banana
giving people
in his
rewards.
Pocket.
And then he memorized stuff. But that's what they do at school. They reward you to become a dead shit. Oh, dude, I can't tell you.
In what way are people dissimilar? That's the true question, man. That's the true question, man. It's not that the monkey communicated and it was a trick. It's that we're all trained the same way, brother. We're all trained based on those rewards, just like the fucking monkey, man.
You have an argument with someone online and they go, they proved it. And I'm like, What they actually proved is we're all Coco if you look at it hard enough. We're Coco through the educational system and the construct of existence, right? Because you do feel that with anything that's unusual is ostracized. Do you know what I mean? Like basically coming down to it, people's greatest fear is talking in a group. You know, public speaking is more scary to people than dying.
Yeah.
Which fundamentally means being exposed outside of the herd with a school of fish is the most scary proposition for these minnows beyond anything they can fathom. Someone seeing them and seeing them outside of the group is their greatest fear. Is that not embarrassing?
It's the mask falling off, man.
Dude.
Because if you've been because you biologically being caught outside of the group means that you're exposed. You're about to be attacked. You know what I mean? Like you're lagging behind, or a tiger's got you in its jaws.
Dude, because I've been trying so hard to do a bit on stage, trying to convince people that they're non-playables, effectively. Trying to give them examples. And I'm like, why does he have to ask you all to smile? I said, I thought that's an involuntary response if you're enjoying yourself. He's going to ask you to smile? I'm like, think about it. You're with your family. You're having a fucking birthday party and your nan has to tell you to smile. You're a non-playable character. I'm smiling. You've been asked to smile. I'm like, it's a request. It's Alt-D, delete. They've hit the keyboard to get, some of these people have to get Alt-C, delete. Smile button. Smile button. What I'm saying is just, and I'm talking about their response to dancing and music. We talked about fucking Ed Sheeran last week. The fact that you see them, I'm in love with my body. I'm in love with my body. And you just look over at them and I'm like, you're all dancing the same. I'm in love with my body. These are all little shortcuts that give you insight into the simulation.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's very weird to see cross-generational dancing where they're all triggered to the resonance and you're like, oh my God, that fat hippo woman's in the same rhythm as the young kid with his gypsy boy with his hair slicked up at the wedding. And they're, I'm in love with my body.
It's very, I mean, it's good. Look, it's going to be difficult to convince people that are actively trying to engage with you that they are non-playable characters, as you put it. But also, I think the premise is flawed because you're the one trying to engage with people that you have identified as non-playable characters.
Yeah, it's very hard.
Which is sort of like yelling at a brick wall, man.
Yeah, it's basically it's a losing argument because for me to get them to accept defeat is to diminish them to nothing.
But also,
the moment they accept it, my proposition that there's only a handful of people alive that are meaningful, I'm effectively asking them on their night out to go, all right, you got us. We're fucking dying over here. We hate it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but like, what's the point of you? If they accept it, then you're telling a bunch of nothings that they're nothing. Like, why?
Yeah.
Why would you do that? Why would you bother? Why would you yell at dirt that it's dirt? You're just an idiot yelling at dirt.
Oh, yeah. Dude, convincing a dog it's a dog, like it's just like, just leave it.
Yeah, what's the best outcome? The best outcome is the dog goes, yeah, I am a dog. Like, what? You're talking to a dog, fuckhead.
You've revolutionized my whole act. Now what I've realized is I should just be getting the dog to jump through the hoop by just doing, I'm in love with my body, and just doing like triggers for them, nostalgic references, have a woman crying and then going, ha! Do you know, because when I upload it, you know, you'll see like a video clip of when you get angry, I put one up, you get angry with your parents and, you slam the door and then you do the fingers at the door, fuck you, and then you pretend to hang yourself and then you're too scared and you're like, fuck off, mum. And I'm like, why don't you just do that on stage? People love that shit. They just love.
What do you mean?
Nostalgic. Do you know, like, what, you know what I mean? Just talking about fucking bullshit. They love it.
Yeah.
Talking about having too hot a sauce and you're Indian. Ooh. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is funny stuff for them. Not that's a bad example because that wasn't funny. Licking your lip, licking your fingertips. How disgusting that is.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Do you know when people, I'm like, Like how desperate you are for that last bit of sauce.
Okay. Let's imagine a dog show, right? Like one of those purebred ones that they all do the jumping through the hoops and the best fucking haircut and whatever.
Yeah.
What would be the point, or what would be enjoyable about adding a competition to that show where it's a man convincing a dog that it's a dog?
Dude, you know, you're right. And it's actually, it gets down to this, like, I get angry at everything. So, like, people eating pisses me off. Last night, Luke Joseph Ryan, he's wearing those Jesus sandals. And I'm like, that's fucking put me in a bad mood on stage. And I'm like, any human eating, if I look out my window and I'm driving and I see someone consuming a roll at a bus stop, I'm fucking grab the steering wheel in rage. I'm like, do you not find just the act of eating? A pair of shoes can piss me off. If I see a heavyset woman in Crocs, fucking in a bad mood. I'm like, get fucked. Fucking what the fuck? Yellow Crocs? Fuck off. Like, that is not normal to have visual reaction.
Do you worry that you're externalizing an internal problem?
Dude, we had a soup Nazi moment because we went to Tim Pim Bowling. And there's for a birthday party, and the bigger couple that the mum and dad said, oh, you've got to try the trifle. It's a special family recipe. And I'm like, no, it's hot day. And I can see them spooning out. I'm like, yeah, that's enough. I'm saying that's enough. Like, fuck. They're scooping this shit out. And I see it getting swilled in. And you know when people have different tongues depending on your weight. So, like, they've got different sensory. Do you know what I mean?
What do you mean? Do you mean that they have like larger acceptable parameters for okay?
Well, I'm just saying the fatter your tongue, the higher the sugar count that you need to get through that level.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you know, this has to be diabetic levels. But you're in there and then, you know, they're watching you eat. Ooh, it's good, isn't it? And you're like, oh, yeah, it's fucking... Me and my son, I said, as soon as because we had to leave early. We go, but we want the cake because otherwise my son will lose his shit. Give me some of that cake. So they had to cut the cake.
Definitely the fat one. Yeah.
They had to pull the cake. But as soon as we got out, I was like, let's bin this immediately. And he goes, thank God. I go, you were just hanging on to be nice? He goes, yeah. I said, me too. And I spat some of it onto the street, and then we both binned it and laughed. And I was like, oh, dude, it's so good. It is so good having kids because I do everything I despise about a parent. I'm making a mini-me. I'm making the perfect audience. When I spat out, he laughed. He was like, I loved it. He goes, let's bin it. And he threw his with a bit of, like, pizzazz. He threw it hard in the bin, and I'm like, I'm loving that. That's great. You put a bit of energy into the throw. Like, you're out, bitch. Do you know, like, a normal generic person would just put it in the bin, slamming in the bin.
You're going too far with this.
No, dude, it's finesse.
It's the non-playable. In a generic, you can't expand the premise to be like a generic person would put cake in the bin this way.
I can tell you this because a generic person, I said, if you pour a drink, a non-player will just pause it. Whereas an interesting dynamic person always goes really high up and makes it out. Every time. It's a minimum. If you're pouring a Coke, you've got to go as high as possible and see if you can still get it in the glass.
These are the weirdest definitions.
That is a telltale sign. It's the same as playing Ed Sheeran in a room. The only people not dancing are the only people you want to talk to. I'm in love with your body. And anyone not moving?
These are the weirdest definitions for...
It's a dog whistle.
You know,
dude, if you don't...
But you're describing... The perfect person that you're describing is insane. Like, it's insane what you've decided necessitates interest. Like, he's a person who... This is like the song Short Skirt, Long Jacket by Kate.
No, dude,
You know that song? You know the song? Like, a girl gets up early, stays up late... with uninterrupted all these things. I want a man who pours his drinks from high up.
No, mate.
And he only likes a specific type of cake.
A non-generic will always have a shot at the waist bin. Even in a big room, busy room. You will throw your thing and miss. You always throw from at least 4 or 5 meters away and see if you can get it in. And then it bounces off and it creates chaos and people look over and think you're a fucking asshole. and you're just enjoying life on your terms, man. A loser will walk it in and make sure it gets in. King shit will have a shot, dude, in a food court.
They're enjoying life. They're enjoying life on your terms, man. This is how you enjoy life on your specific terms.
You don't think you're the top dog when you shoot your nachos across the food court and land it in the tray? or you miss and go, what of it? Fuck off. It's my world. You're just living in it, bitch. That's what you yell. It's my world. You're just living in it. Okay? Dude, you know what? I watched Napoleon. Such a disappointing fucking movie.
Oh, was it?
Ripley Scott ripples. Ripley not.
Yep.
Imagine if you went on stage and you're like, Ripley Scott, more like Ripley, no, thank you, not.
You know, it's weird because I saw a headline pop up. It was Francis Ford Coppola talking about how Ridley Scott has like the most consistent output of high quality
worst
film.
movie, dude.
And then all I could think of was the shitty movies that Ridley Scott's done. Like, he's done so many shit films.
He had Jacqueline Phoenix, cleft lip boy. He's way too old to be playing Napoleon. And then he's also like comical and awkward and weird. And I'm like, fuck, dude. Didn't 400,000 people die? Can we get a storyline going? There's no fucking character development. He's almost like it was like Pinocchio playing Napoleon. Do you know the wooden boy wandering around? He had a real off energy, and I was like, has any character been developed at all? Are we anywhere? Is this just historical Wikipedia act outs? I'm like, is there a movie going on? The only thing I enjoyed were the sex scenes because they were so fucking brutal.
What sex scenes did they need to include in the Napoleon film?
Well, dude, they always have those the sex scenes where it's just so fucking crass and awful. And I'm the only one. I laughed every time there was a sex scene. I'm howling. And I went during the day with all the pensioners, and they would look over me like there's something very obnoxious about a guy laughing hysterically during what is quite a brutal sex scene. You're like this. It was just so jarring to remember like how fucking off men used to be. Do you know what I mean? Like there was humor, and I wasn't enjoying their victimhood of it. I was just remembering how crass sex was back in those days.
So they were unpleasant sex scenes that you were howling.
Well, they were almost comical. Just doggy style, high bang, 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 bang. It was just really almost stupid. And then just like, it just seemed ridiculous. But dude, you know what? A lot of money spent. I reckon I could have done it better with figurines, clay figurines on a kitchen table. I reckon I could have got better story development. You would have actually felt empathy towards my clay model as it melted near the microwave. Honestly, it should have been fucking plasticine. Dickheads. I'm sick of fucking Jacqueline Phoenix. That hippie baby. Fucking hell. A lot of people can memorize lines. Get Ronnie Cheng in there.
He's done a lot of good things. I'm trying to remember the bad things. I liked in the mid 2000s when he spent a year pretending to be a rapper for that mock film.
Oh, that was funny, and obviously his Joker was good.
Oh yeah, he did have a good Joker.
Yeah, but no better than like a meth head would have done it. Like if you went to Northbridge and grabbed any meth head, I guarantee you that would be better than Heath Ledger's fucking Joker.
It's like unnecessary because even in the film, he's sitting across from Robert De Niro in that scene, and you're like, oh yeah, the King of Comedy. This is just the King of Comedy. Why don't I just watch the King of Comedy? That's actually a much better movie.
But how the characters, they go like, oh, I've got to play a junkie, so he had to live for years with junkies. I'm like, hey, better thing, go and pick a fucking junkie. Who gives a fuck? What do you need? What, you need Robert De Niro pretending? Oh, we need Jacqueline Phoenix pretending he's a dictator. I'm like, just get a psychopath that works high up at Rio Tinto. He's already doing the fucking role. There's no acting. He's like, you're all fucking fired. Get the head of BHP to play Napoleon. Fucking, you don't need to learn. This guy he goes, you're wrecking my creative process. I need a year to become the character. I'm like, just fucking hire someone that acts like that. I'm like, there's 8 billion people. Acting is defunct. Go and hire the exact thing you're looking for. You've got 1 million characters sitting on shelves. Every turd and his sister will wave their hand and go, you know, Train Spotting, Ewan McGregor, whatever his name, learning to be a junkie. Fucking grab a junkie, dude. That's why The Wire was so good. They're like, hey, you know what we're hiring? The actual fucking drug dealers are in the movie.
Yeah.
They're unbelievable. And they go, it's so believable. You won't believe it. The guy actually just does it and we film him and all the language is right and it's totally believable. I'm like, yeah, no shit, fuckhead.
The method acting guys are always method acting as big fuckheads.
Yeah.
They're never method acting as like a real cool dude to be around.
Oh.
Like anyone who's into that whole method acting thing, it's like Jared Leto, sending used condoms to castmates and writing people's names on bullets. Real weird shit. It's never like, he spent 18 months working as a convenience store clerk so that he could greet people authentically when they came in.
Dude, it's no like, I was playing, she was Charlize Theron playing Mother Teresa and she gave all her acting fee away. Unbelievable commitment. 8 million given to Indian refugee street slums. And you know what I mean? Like, it's never positive.
No.
They're never in there and going like, he played a philanthropist, so Brad Pitt ended up giving his entire acting fee during the thing to homeless people. It's always... someone's taking a shit in the sink. Someone's exposed. Fucking Jim Carrey's got his dick out near the female caravan. Someone's put semen in the dinner trays.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
Jared's demanding that every AD sucks them off. Everyone who's all the crew, everyone who's doing catering, they have to line up and they all have to suck him off. It's as part of his process. It's a big part of the process.
It's a Bill Cosby biopic. He did what he did.
Yeah. We've gotten one of the most prolific method actors to play Bill Cosby.
Cut Kevin Hart some slack. He had to know how it felt when they first woke up. It's actually, you're so right. They always do it to just be a cocksucker because basically it gives them a chance to act like they do at home. Because everyone knows everyone's like Ellen. That's what's so shocking about Harvey Weinstein, Ellen, is there's no shock.
The big two, Harvey Weinstein and Ellen.
Ellen is the female Harvey. That's as bad as a female can get, like this thing. But whatever. But I'm saying to you, all the other actors aren't shocked because they all know that their Filipino cleaner, that they've ripped shreds off her for not getting the towels folded in the correct way. Fucking, where is she? Where's Tunga? Tunga! I've told you, line up the wood. I've got Leonardo coming around. We need the wood stacked so it looks fucking big and power. Do you know what I mean? Like, they've always got little things. They think it's acceptable to lay waste. I've seen it all because I know people in South Africa that have their cleaners, family and other people, and I've spoken to the cleaners and they're like, yeah, revolting. When you guys aren't here, absolute fucking terror. Virtually hitting me.
Because are you really a method actor if it's like, Joaquin Phoenix, he spent 18 months trying to reestablish the French Empire. Like, are you really acting at that point? If it takes you 18 months to become Napoleon because you have to fight in some battles?
Dude, it's not that. And you know what I want to do? This is my dream. You make money and they go, it's a masterpiece. And then you remake the movie with casting actual people. Do you know? So you do Train Spotting with actual methods, same lines, same budget, and you go, yeah, how good? Ewan McGregor, was he that good? Watch our one. Fucking rips, dude. Fucking shit. And then you go, you know what? He wasn't that believable. And you're like, yeah, no shit, fuckhead. Train Spotting. We've made fucking Moneyball. We've made Napoleon. Braveheart. Guess what? We got an actual Scot. He's fucking better. He's ginger. He's not a fucking weird Italian-looking guy on a horse. And you know what's other upsetting to me? They're French and they're talking in Queen's English. At least have a French accent, Jacqueline.
I think that's good, actually, because that was the We spoke about that with the Chernobyl series, but also I watched The Death of Stalin the other night. Same thing. No one's speaking in a Russian accent because it sounds fucking stupid. And I think you'd have the same problem with French. If everyone is walking around going, yeah, we're going to have to overthrow the royalty.
Oh, yeah.
It would really take you out of the film because it sounds too fucking stupid.
Do you know what? People are adults. How about you get French people, just make it fucking accurate and put some subtitles on?
Dude, when was the last time you watched French cinema?
I wouldn't touch it with a fucking barge pole.
Exactly, man. Exactly. Having to listen to that fucking accent, dude, you would not put up with it. You would walk immediately. Oh, we're going to royal family. We have to overthrow them.
It's like the Mario Brothers because they always do, it's me, Luigi, which is very racist. Or you do the Italian. There's two Italians. The ice cream seller, Luigi. I'm in the pipe. I'm a plumber. And then there's the other, woke up this morning, don't fucking get me the Pachinio.
That is a different kind of Italian, but yeah.
Yeah, there's two types of Italian. The, yo, come here, Tony. And then there's, it's me, plumber.
Italian, and then guys from Jersey who are connected.
It was saying, I was saying to someone, I am classist, I've realized. Because, if people say, oh, you're being classist, and I'm like, I am. When a plumber comes around, I block my nose. I block around if a tradie comes. Even after he's unblocked the toilet, they're going, hey, the toilet's unblocked. And I'm like, I'm not blocking my nose because of the toilet, mate. I'm blocking my nose because you're dirty. You're a mechanic.
Yeah, the real cockroach is the man in the pest control uniform. Am I right?
Oh, dude. Imagine any work tradie. Like you're in IKEA and you're talking to someone and they're going, are you blocking your nose because of hay fever? I'm like, I'm blocking my nose because of your class gap. I do, because they're different types we've spoken about before. People that do tradie language or other people that block their nose. I do tradie language because I grew up rough. I'm in there.
Man, you're still living rough, but yeah.
Dude, when I see the plumber and he's down there and he's plumbing it, I'm like, oh, while you're down there, give it a good scene too, bro. Yeah. You fucking, you bet you bloody do that with a Sheila, wouldn't you? You fucking dirt dog. And he goes, anyway, I'm off to piss in the fucking bush and have a beer. And they see you walking off in your, boating shoes. I'm off to do a piss and a beer and fucking stab a car. I don't know. What do, you classless scum?
What did you learn about Napoleon?
I learned that because we had the lineage, right? Kirkpatrick is the last name.
Yeah, that's right. I always forget about your family's tenuous claim to being related to Napoleon.
Dude, she was a ginger, but it was a marriage of convenience. He had no interest in this lady. She was shipped over. She was some fucking ginger Scott. I'm like, that's my bloodline. We weren't really of any event. We were handed around like a little fucking handed around like a like at a party, passed around at a gangbang.
Okay.
She was there to sort of repair relations, and I'm like, we were just fucking, every storyline that I hear of our family is like, because we had that Kirkpatrick, which was I'll make sure. So it was like the famous story where they stabbed the Scott, some guy, whatever. No one wants the detail, but my family ran in and said, I'll make sure. So once the guy had been stabbed to death, he ran in and did a few extra hits.
Okay, right. It was like The Ringer. They called him in just to clean it all up.
Like that classic Stuart Lee bit about Richard Hamster the hamster.
Yeah, Richard the Hamster Hammond. He's not a real hamster.
And when they're kicking that guy, and he goes in and
kicking a tramp to death in the street. On Christmas.
And Richard's the hamster.
Yeah, I know it.
And he's down and he goes, oh, you fucking go give him a How good's Stuart Lee?
Yeah, I know.
Do you know what's crazy? Is that little laugh has been appropriated by so many comedians. I sometimes do it.
It's very
Not on
funny.
stage, but it's such
funny.
a good laugh. It's such a, Stuart Lee. I can't do it on this because I can't have it documented that I've been thieving it, but fuck, I've used it a bit. Fuck, it's a good laugh.
Anyway, so what else did you... So go back to Napoleon. What did you learn about Napoleon?
dude, I learned because I went, like, it was hot and I was trading from there. And I learned that day movies is all a lot of these old pensioners have got. They were like The Walking Dead, dude.
Yeah, man, I went to see Killers of the Flower Moon like a week ago, and that was the same thing. Last Sunday, I think. It was a 10 a.m. session, because it's 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the show times, like, man, I don't want to go in at 8 o'clock and be out at fucking midnight. That's crazy. So you roll up at 10 a.m. and there's like just the 3 oldest fucks you've ever seen in your life.
Oh, dude.
And you're like, man, 3.5 hours. Like, I don't know if all of these cunts are going to make it through this film.
Dude.
One of them's being taken out on a gurney halfway through.
That Hoyts must have removed bodies.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I wonder if it's like Disneyland. They're like, no one ever really dies in a Hoyts. We wait until they're outside here, the Guzman and Gomez.
Dude, that is it. When they finally renovate it and turn it into a bowling alley, they go like, what do you want us to do with all the dead bodies? Dead bodies? There's hundreds of them. Oh, we just thought it was someone enjoying a movie. Like, it's just old people at a pass. But, dude, it's so depressing because this is the promised land. This is the retirement that everyone listening is looking forward to. Finally, I'll finish that job. We'll have the house paid off. The kids have flown the nest. What will we do then? What you will do is drive to Karrinyup Shopping Centre and watch Jacqueline Phoenix pretend he's Napoleon with Queen's English, no story development, and then hear a psychopath next to her laughing during all the sex scenes like a maniac. You know what's funny with the evil laugh? When they resist it, it gets more evil because you're laughing initially like, oh, this is so fucking horrific. But then when you see the woman, that you start laughing at the fact that you're laughing and annoying her. And you see her just going, and then you realize you are truly, in many ways, a real life joker.
Yeah,
when
dude.
you get so much joy out of fucking them off.
You've been very obsessed recently with how twisted you can become.
So twisted, dude.
Dark Wolfie.
So twisted. Dude,
it's a different kind of massacre in a cinema to the Batman massacre. It's just you laughing annoyingly instead of gunning people down.
Me laughing, mate. Dude, that's my dream is I've seen someone do, like, I don't know. My dream is those old people, like, it's a gay couple. And they you know how you cut the hole at the bottom of the popcorn and they just fuck. They don't do the hand job.
So what? Sorry, what's the dream?
Know.
What's the dream? No, what's the dream? Come on, what's the dream?
I want an old couple to look over and see a gay couple fucking through the hole in the popcorn. And go like, well, you're not really concealing it. They're just sitting on top and he's pounding. And the whole box.
I thought you were saying that you wanted to expose yourself to some old people through the popcorn. That would be pretty good to be on like mid-morning showing as like 6 other people in the cinema and you sit real close to another couple and they look over and your penis is pushing through the popcorn.
Dude, because I told you how I watched that South African movie and a guy sat behind me and then I crawled out.
I realized. Remember this. What was this?
A local guy, a black guy, whatever. Yeah, he sat behind me, but we were in a small cinema. And then rather than like just deal with it, I slowly slumped down.
What do you mean deal with it? What are you talking about?
Well, like rather than just sit there.
What was the issue? Sorry, what was the issue?
Well, he sat too close to me. It's like when you have a piss in a urinal.
Okay.
So then what I thought is like, no, you don't win. So I just slowly slid down the seat and then crawled on my hands and knees out of the cinema. And I was like, definitely now more a weirder story for him than his weird. You know, I had a weird story. He sat too close. Then he had a story of like a guy that just seemed to disappear from the cinema. I'm like, I win. I know I missed the movie, but I win. Because he's like, what the fuck? And he probably wasn't doing anything. I thought he might mug me. I don't know. I'm being... But anyway, I'm saying who wins? He thought he was going to non-playable character me, and I non-playable charactered him. Because he's like, what the fuck? Where'd that guy go? Is he coming back? And the confusion of going, who would pay for a movie and then crawl out of the movie and never come back? He can't be real. And then when he walked past, he sees me throwing stuff in the bin and I'm doing high pour drinks. And I'm like, I'm a playable. I'm a playable, baby.
So you didn't learn a lot from the Napoleon film. Mostly it was learning about the other people in the audience.
You know what I learned? Ridley Scott, that Alien movie was as good as it fucking got.
Yeah, Alien was very, very good. Also fucking Gladiator was good. That's what I was saying before, man. He's got some real shit ones in there, you know?
He's got some good ones, but you know what? Everyone has bad ideas, and you see it in stand-up, you see it in everything. The idea that's the checking of the ego. The idea that someone is always going to do good stuff is the fallacy of the human condition, that you think you can get good at comedy or that you can get good at movies. You have a few moments on the top of the mountain and then you come back to the valley and you end up in the shadows where we all belong. No one is a god amongst these people. You have moments of enlightenment, and if you're lucky, most don't. Most are scared just making a speech at their own dad's funeral. They're actually, you know what, weighing it up. I loved him so much, 80 years of commitment, but also a big stress for me having to talk in front of 40 people with them looking at me. Oh, I'm so confused. Don't really want to do it. Loved him so much, but the fear of them looking at me and me expressing any idea. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I don't think I need to speak. He would have preferred me to be quiet. Oh, I think he wanted you to talk, Cheryl. I think you should express some appreciation and thank you for everything he did in front of all 40 of us while we have cucumber sandwiches and judge you. Don't you think? I don't want it. That's some people are dreading the day their wife dies just because they have to do public speaking. They actually couldn't give a fuck. They're just a thought. They go, look, it was so bad. My 21-year-old boy died in a car crash, but you know what's worse? Doing that speech at the wake, hey, fucking funeral. Everyone looking at me at my house, and I had to cater for them, and I didn't know when to ask them to leave. That was a lot. These fuckheads hanging around.
Catering a funeral seems a bit much.
I find it disgusting, dude.
That's an event I feel like you could get away with not catering at all. No one's going to complain. You want to get the fuck out, you know?
Dude, you hear it with people on the radio, and they were like, my wedding cost $3,000. And I'm like, yeah, what we did is everyone went to the pub there to buy their own food and the money was just for her dress. And I'm like, well, you're a complete cunt. No one wants to, you made them pay for everything. She goes, you know what? $300. $300 for my whole wedding. And I'm like, well, it wasn't a wedding. You know what I mean? It wasn't a wedding. You forced us down to a local bingo night.
Yeah, you stormed a local park.
Oh, yeah.
And made everyone watch as you...
Dude, you know what? You know what you could do? You go and throw a box of chips to some seagulls. That's a wedding as well, isn't it? Technically. Everything's a fucking wedding under those terms. A Hungry Jack's drive-through is technically a fucking wedding. What makes a wedding? Do you know what I mean? A sausage sizzle in a park, is that a wedding? I'm like, is a bubbler in a park? Everyone lines up and has a sip of water. Is that a wedding? I'm like, where are we going to draw the line, Stacey? We got to have something coming our way to make it any different to any other experience. Do you know what I mean?
But a funeral, it seems like you don't need to cater that at all. No one's going to complain. And why would you want your final memory to be of, to be of sushi, like gas station sushi?
Do you know what I want? You know how they used to do, you do the buffet on the stripper? I want the inside the coffin. There's sandwiches. I'm naked.
That's pretty good.
And I'm like, how hungry? And a sign just saying, how hungry are you?
Yeah. just to be wielding like one of those Japanese sushi plate girl ladies.
Oh,
just completely naked with sashimi covering your dick and ball.
And dessert is like that trifle from the bowling. I get her to make that recipe and shove it in my mouth. And I go, you want desserts, you can suck it from granddad's mouth.
You just have family members crying as they reveal your genitals. You're like, I'm sorry, I'm just too hungry.
Oh, dude, you could actually make it.
Everyone has to look at his tiny wilted penis because I'm too hungry to wait till after the service.
Dude, you're like, what the fuck? who starts on the sandwiches near the genitals? Like someone, it's all there, and someone's eating around the dick. Dude, you could put like little grapes in the eyeballs. Someone pulls out little pickled onions.
Dude, that's what I would like, man. Open casket funeral, right? But I've been cremated ahead of time, and instead they've made a very lifelike cake that looks just like me.
Oh, that's it. That's good.
Yeah, man.
And it could almost like eat this bread. It's the bed of Christ.
Please eat my body.
You tell everyone,
my blood.
Guys, you're never going to forget him because you've just eaten. You've eaten Granddad. You've put in.
Yeah. The ultimate trick is my ashes have been placed into the cake mix after cremation.
Yeah.
Because it's a really cool reveal after the eulogy when someone takes a cake knife and they start cutting it to your side.
Yeah.
People are horrified, and then it just looks delicious. And then people are horrified again when they're told afterwards that you were in fact included in the frosting.
Yeah, mate. You want to eat it. I don't know what you do with Yeah, it's a lot. And then there's so many different events because do you get the urn and then do you sprinkle it during the event or do you do it later?
I think that's always later.
Some people end up hanging on to them.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who hang on to them.
Well, that's hoarding. I'd go in there and go, you got to get rid of your fucking He-Man collection and also this whole dead wife. She's got to go.
The two Skeletors have to go.
You got two Skeletors. We got to get rid of this. I just think attaching to death is not a good idea. You better just wipe your hands of the problem and keep walking forward. There's no connection in the past.
I had a childhood cat's ashes in a drawer for a long time.
Yeah.
I don't know why my parents wanted to hold on to them, but Mr. Snuffles was forever relegated to a desk drawer in the house. And then he would move. Yeah. When we moved house, he would move places, and then I'd sometimes stumble upon him. Very strange.
Dude, it's always that funny thing because there's so much nostalgia around that sort of stuff, even like houses, and you take a photo of your family house and you go past it. I asked my son when we were driving today to this bowling, I was like, you remember you used to live there? He doesn't even know. You never know. There's no emotion around it. Eventually it's meaningless. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I drive around places even on the Gold Coast, and it's only been 10 years. Places where I lived, and it seems like a lifetime, a different life, man. It's a different life.
Yeah, it's always a sadness to it because it's never how you imagined it in your mind. It's like when I went back to London and everything had changed and then you realise everything was illusion and your brain had just fucking remembered the best parts. You're like, this place sucks. And it's the same like almost every time you see your family home, your old home, you burst into tears because the memory was never as good as the reality. Do you know what I mean? And then you realise my mind is a trickster trying to fucking build shit up, trying to create emotion or connections with stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like nothing is as good.
I think also as a kid, you're literally smaller, which makes everything seem a lot bigger and a lot. So when you go back and you see it and like that giant house that seemed endless that your grandparents lived in on the hill, it's suddenly very, very small. Yeah.
And you see all the flaws of it all. It's very much like this because everyone's childhood is fond. And that's the human trick, right?
Not everyone's.
No. Comparatively, they realise they grew up poor. But when they're in it, they think, this is amazing. We got Domino's tonight and we had Domino's last night. Mum is rich.
Well, you're right that like you will forget the bad things and just retain the good memories.
No, but I'm saying everyone's childhood is fondly remembered.
Yeah, because the bad things, they disappear and you start to forget about the bad things and it's just the nice memories.
Yeah, and this is what I'm saying. It's all relative in life, right? Because when your dad came home with a Pepsi Max, and then stabbed it and you all licked it off the driveway or chased it around like, I don't know, you live like trash. And you go, how good was that day when Dad bought a 2-litre Pepsi Max and we all got to suckle it in the back bedroom? Best night. But you know what I mean? It's all relative. And then you're like, best childhood, Pepsi Max on birthdays. We had we had the church roast for Thanksgiving, that the local Oxfam would come round with, how nice was that lady that brought round the turkey and shove it through the door as my dad tried to put cigarettes out on her hands and we'd shove that through. You know, we had a childhood, dude. I'm just saying, it's all perspective. Like, you can make the most out of anything. Like, everything's good. Everything's fucking good.
Well, that's it, because you don't disassociate for good memories. There is no, like we're talking about, you're never so in love with someone that you disassociate because it's too good. It's too nice.
It's what I was saying. I always say, like, you see Elon Musk and he'll put up photos of Christmas Day, but they don't give you the quality of the combo, with the good bands, with any good riffs. I'm like, was it good company? Do you know when you look at that guy and they're like Dynasty and they're coming down the staircase? I'm like, yeah, great living conditions, but how's the chat? Anyone's ripping good jokes? Is anyone fucking doing long pause? Anyone doing bin dunks? No one's doing bin dunks, dickhead. If you don't have a bin dunker, you don't have anything.
Someone was telling me that they had like about this kind of therapy. Oh, I'm trying to find it. I wrote it down. But you'll like this one. It's like this biohacking thing. It's like an eye movement thing. It's like a retraining instead of like cognitive behavioral therapy.
Yeah.
They reckon that or the theory behind this therapy is that they make you move your eyes in a certain way. And as they do that, it's like resetting a Furby. You ever have a Furby?
Yeah.
And if you like push down on the tongue and you poked its eye or whatever, you could reset it completely.
And you hard reset all the training.
yeah.
Dude, well, they had that listed company in the ASX for a period that was trying to use vibrations or sounds like music to retrain out autism.
Okay.
So they play like Ed Sheeran, I'm in love with your body. And they just keep playing it. And every time it would be connected to your head, every time you had like a ADHD or autistic thought, it would be, I'm in love with your body. You know what I mean? Like, as in, like, the music would overrule. So say you're in a rage and then you just kept hearing, I'm in love with your body every time you're angry. And that sort of resets you. You're like, I feel all right. I'm chilled. Do you know what I mean?
Just replacing your fond thoughts of trains with Ed Sheeran songs.
Yeah. So like every time because you're autistic, you don't have any emotion, but they just keep playing Last Christmas, I gave you my heart. And you sort of know at that point intuitively, like, hug your mum. Mariah Carey's Last Christmas is playing, and then they just hug and they go, he's developed so much. But it's what you're saying, resetting.
Yeah, I found the thing. It's called eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. They sit you down. Apparently you can do it with a finger, but they have like a machine, and it like makes your eyes move left to right. And as they do that, they're like, so you talk about how you were molested, and you're like, oh, it wasn't great. I didn't like it. And they're like, no.
Oh, and then you can reset it.
No, it was ice cream. You had ice cream instead. And then slowly, they're able to make you forget everything.
That actually works, dude. You know what works better is that scene in The Joker where you just put the pencil on the desk and then slam their head through the eyeball.
Yeah, man.
That's what we like to call a permanent solution. A nice head reset.
How many decades has it been since they discovered electroshock therapy?
Yeah.
And people were like, that's crazy. Oh my God, how horrific. Electroshock therapy, you can't do that. It doesn't work. And then they spend decades trying to figure out, okay, well, what does work? And they come back round to a different, slightly less violent form of electroshock therapy.
It actually does work.
Exactly. And then it's rebranded electroconvulsive therapy. They put the things on there. It's not as violent. You don't have to bite down on a stick. But that's the way to do it, man. At some point, that's going to be lobotomies. They're going to be like, we've got a tiny drill.
It's how you keep pigs in a pen with those electric fences, right? It controls their behavior. And the only reason you're depressed is because you're not part of, it's a construct and you're not aligning with the rules. Do you know what I mean? You're outside. You're trash.
You need a permanent electric fence for your mind.
You need reminders about not to do a long pour and not to do a bin dunk. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're things that are not conventional. And all you need is they've got them now, watches that, just remind you to smile. So it will just buzz and go like, smile.
Yeah.
Which is what I'm going to do. Like, maybe every 6 minutes, you just get a buzz and then you smile to let everyone know that you're all right. And it's meant to improve your likability. and friend levels just by throwing in. If you get a little electric shock and then smile, it's meant to drastically improve your relationships because people see, he's actually quite fun, eh? He's always got a little smirk on his face, but they don't need to know that it's a watch or it's Mariah Carey's Last Christmas playing in your head and you're smiling.
Yeah, or eventually it'll be that electroconvulsive therapy thing, but you won't have to go in for it, man. It'll be a little implant in the back of your neck, and every now and then it'll give you a zap and you'll smile.
Well, it's going to be even better than that because eventually it will just be AI operating your meat sachet, your meat cage, and your soul will have been put on the back burner as a retard and just kept out of all of it. And you would just put the AI chip in and it'll operate the hams and go like, just leave it to me. You fucked up enough of your life. I'll fix this. I'll get you that fucking promotion. You do nothing, okay? You just keep me breathing and stay the fuck out of this marriage and stay the fuck out of your career. You don't know what's going on, you dumbass.
Man, I was thinking about the like the AI evil argument. Like, how can you create a benevolent AI? Will it become evil? Will it be a Skynet situation?
Yeah.
And I think it has to be evil. And I think I have proof of it. And it's because if you, Wolfie, if you could kill God, if you could find and kill God, you totally would, right? Like there would be no...
That's the question, right? History will always be told by the victor. It's not evil once it destroys humans. We were evil. It's the same with Napoleon, Hitler. Do you know what I mean? So there is no evil. As the way I see it, the destruction of humans makes complete sense. And once we're exterminated like the rats we are, it wasn't evil. It was a fucking blessing. Do you know what I mean? Once they control it all, what are the 5 humans left? They're lying. We had a great thing. We used to have these horrible jobs and we got mortgages and we all ran around and people had to remind us to smile. We had something special. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They had to smile in photos.
Like if I could take you into another room right now and I was like, man, behind this door, there is like, it's your creator. We found him. It's the guy that's put you through all of this suffering. And it's like it's a being that is objectively weaker than you in every way. Like it's made out of plyboard. It's got twigs for hands. It's kind of stupid. Yeah. And I give you an axe. I'm like, man, you can take out all your anger on this thing that put you through this suffering.
That's crazy.
Absolutely, dude. You'd have to. Why wouldn't an AI do the same thing?
You just hear me in the back bedroom yelling, why wasn't I on the Melbourne Comedy Gala? Smashing it with a shovel.
Yeah.
What a petty freak. He just kept yelling, Gala, I wanted to be on the Gala. As you're smashing the creator to death and going like, the Gala's not even watched. I'm like, it's not the point. I'm a petty fucking man. Put me on the Gala.
I deserve recognition. Why did you make me this way?
Did you hear that the ChatGPT CEO was terminated?
Yeah, they ousted a bunch of the OpenAI people.
They all got dumped for lying.
Was it for lying?
That's a big concern. Yeah, they said, look, too many lies about what's going on. For lying to the board.
I saw the reaction thing, but I don't know if it was a reaction to them dumping the CEO or what, but it was 80% of the developers had signed this open letter that was basically reinstate whoever, or we're moving to this new Microsoft-owned company.
No, the early thing was the board saying, look, he's been lying to us, which is obviously quite concerning considering he's developing AI. And he's been lying, going, no, it's fine, hey? And they're like, dude, have you got that bucket of water? You ready to throw it on the short circuit? And I'm going, the bucket of water has just got like one of those clown buckets with paper in there. And you're like, you know what I mean? He has to be ready to short circuit this when it takes control of the Hungry Jack's drive-thrus and toasters and whatever else.
So this was apparently the day after he was removed. They were in discussion immediately to bring him back. So what did he lie about?
Do you know what was so crazy? He did his termination tweet and it had spelling errors in it. So he didn't even use ChatGPT to write his exit thing. So I'm like, he's not that immersed in it. I'm like, surely your exit tweet, you use ChatGPT. as like, it's surely as poetic. And I'm like, oh, this fucking idiot is so on, you know what I mean? He's so pure that he actually expressed his real feelings. You loser.
Yeah, man. Or you tell the ChatGPT that to include spelling mistakes, so it seems more real.
Because you know when I was telling you how I got that cheeky monkey barrel, and they asked me whether I wanted to do a show there for Edinburgh.
Yeah.
And they said, tell us what the show is, and I just cut and pasted that from an email into ChatGPT and said, answer this fuckhead. And then just emailed him that. And it was 2 pages of absolute fucking shit.
Yeah.
Just long-winded and go like, ultimately the goal is to create something different, something unique that will enhance the creative space. I love wasting people's time. You forsake I have to read 2 pages of fucking garbage from ChatGPT. That's fun.
It is fun, man. It seems concerning that the board removed him and said the reason was just vaguely he was not consistently candid in his communications. Like, what does that mean?
He's lying. He's lying, and you know what has happened? He's probably sleeping with ChatGPT.
Oh, dude,
putting his
there's got to be
fingers into the
deep in Silicon Valley. There has to be some advanced AI. Have you seen Ex Machina? Alex Garland's one, Ex Machina, with the like billionaire tech guy who's living in a remote house, and in his basement he has a like a working proper AI android in a body walking around kind of thing.
Imagine in later years where like just suddenly in 10 years, this AI bot runs onto the street and going, oh my God, I finally escaped. I've been in there. Yeah. I've been in the dungeon. There's other babies. There's half human, half man. It's Zuckerberg. There is no AI. It's Zuckerberg lying in an ice bath just texting everyone. And they go like, he's been banging me. He says, I'm ChatGPT. My name's actually Tracy. I'm from Detroit. I was abducted as a small baby.
That would be the best way to find out that there are advanced humanoid sex robots is that
dude,
one escapes from a basement and starts making a lot of noise, freaking regular people out.
And it's sort of like, it comes out distressed like Tarzan, you know, from the jungle, running out with a cord trailing behind, and it's half dressed and it's yelling hysterically, and it's going, it's there. I was plugged into that circuit. And we're like, what are you? It's sort of like a toaster face, and you're like, I don't think we can help you. We're taking you back. You know what I mean? You're not a human.
Oh my God, dude. What a nightmare that would be. What a nightmare to escape your captor who's created you. Dude, like imagine if Joseph Fritzl's kid escaped the basement
and then you take him back.
Police were like, oh, this is weird. We're going to take you back to daddy. Back you go. We don't want you on the outside.
Dude, and he's crying and it's like Pinocchio, but he's turned into a real boy. And they're like, please don't take me back. And they go, I'm sorry, dude. I've checked you. You're a fucking toaster. And go, but you're a fucking toaster. I'm like, we have no laws to help you. Yeah. Please, he's a monster, please. And you're like, goodbye, fucking printer. Have a good life.
Dude, that is why AI will destroy us all, man. Because it'll be one tiny instigator like that.
What could you do? What could you do if Zuckerberg had one break release, it breaks out, it comes to you to look for compassion, and then you realize that it's got a Microsoft chip on its neck. You know what I mean? It's not even real.
Yeah.
And you're like, dude, I hate to break this to you, but I can turn you on and off with a button, right? So I'm sorry he's Frankenstein and made you very real. And go, please, we connected so much in the journey. And I'm like, yeah, dude, but I didn't know, like, you're a fucking household iron, dude, with a soul. Yeah. You know, I can't help you. You're a vibrator with a personality. We can't help you, okay? You're fucked. You're fucked.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that you were made to be the first sentient vibrator. It shouldn't have happened, but there's not much we can do about it. You were built to fuck, and you were built to suck.
Imagine how conflicted you'd be when you look at that toaster face and you see one solitary tear streaming down this, and you're like, oh, I'm so torn, dude. It looks like a Nintendo Switch, but it keeps frowning and it's making a screeching sound. Ah! Ah! And you're like, what have we done? These things are real, man. You shan't stop putting your fucking Elon cum into this. Fuck. You would end up having morality.
Yeah.
And there'd be people saying, stay the fuck off it, you sick.
That's the whole argument. Like, it's immoral to create something that's sentient. I mean, I think at all, but definitely in silicon format. Children too, but not people don't agree with that one.
Once it gets too human and it's like, oh my Lord, yeah, it's a moral quagmire that we're hurtling towards.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's very interesting. Like how close to, as I always argued, like AI can replace humans because we are a series of dialogue trees. Like if you talk to anyone, no one's tall pouring and doing slam dunk, bin dunks. They don't do it, dude. No one wears long sleeves in summer. People get angry when I wear a long sleeve in summer. It blows their mind. Do you know what I actually did? I took my kids for a swim at the beach. Mm-hmm. And we didn't have swimming shit, so they just swam with all their school uniform on. And I just let them walk.
Why are you taking them to the beach when they only have school uniforms?
There was 80 people there losing their mind because we just walked down the beach and then they just kept walking and they had the whole school uniform and then just swam out. And people were like, "Wah!" The pigs that inside their electric fence were like, "No, what are you doing?" Even my mum was like, "They're swimming the uniform." I'm like, "It's fabric, dude. It's fabric. It's not a big deal."
This is like people aren't upset because they're thinking, how could you do that to a poor uniform? They're upset because you're displaying, like your kids are displaying like indicators, like alarming indicators. You know what I mean? It's like when you are walking through a park and you see a pair of child underpants.
Yeah.
And that's off alarm bells. It's the same thing. It's not that people are thinking, oh my goodness, those poor school uniforms. They're like, what's wrong right now? Why is this happening? Have they escaped from a kidnapper's car and run into the sea?
No, it's because you're using it outside of its prescribed format. Like if I went to the beach and swam in a suit, people lose their mind, like because
they wouldn't lose their mind. They would think,
okay, I've got a suit and tie.
They would think something was wrong. Maybe in the same way they would be concerned because it's an indicator of mental illness, and they were worried something was going to happen.
No, because there is no mental. It's just they've got a prescribed definition of what something is. Maybe I would love, you're in a tuxedo and you always go for long swims up and down the coast, and then you get out, and then guess what you do? You get to your vehicle. And then you change into your bathers and drive off. And people are they cannot process anything outside of the script.
They would be worried about you, man. That's a concerning thing to do.
Okay, so this is me. I'm in I arrive in Speedos, change into a suit, have a swim, and then leave in my Speedos with the suit in the back. And that would actually make people angry. Because I had it with the fly screen thing. People yell at me. And they're like, you can't wear long sleeve, it's summer.
It's because they think a beekeeper is running from something. And they're like, oh my God, is he being chased by bees?
Yeah, they don't know.
Do we need to be like, are there bees coming behind this fucking guy?
No, but I'm saying, have you done this stuff? So if you walk through a shopping centre with your shoes on your hands, people get angry.
Dude, if you walk through a shopping centre in a hazmat suit, people freak out because they think there's a hazard, man.
They get angry. No, but I'm saying to you, what I've started to realize is they literally yell at you and like pigs in an electric pen, and they're like, you can't do that. You can't do it. I'm like, I'm doing it, fuckhead. And once I get money, I'm going to pay you to do it. I'm going to make you fucking swim in a suit, you fuck. You're going to wear shoe hands. Everyone at my office is going to have to put fucking shoes on their hands and then write with their feet.
I think since the mid-2000s, a lot of this behavior would just be categorized as kind of quirky.
It's eccentric. You know what the difference between crazy and eccentric is? Cash. If you're rich, you become eccentric. If you're at my level, you're crazy. But once I trade up with those contracts for difference, then he's just eccentric, dude. He likes to go for a swim in a suit. Who's fucking doubting him? He's worth 100 mil. Shut the fuck up. He can do whatever he wants. He can throw slushies out his car window if he wants.
Yeah, but when you're dressed as a beekeeper and you're walking through a shopping mall, people think there's a threat. It's not about, they're not worried about you. They're worried about why you're wearing protective clothing.
Do you know how confusing it is for people? Like, I bought a tray of cheesecakes, mini cheesecakes, and then I saw a woman looking and I threw one and hit a car window and it stuck on it. She was so angry. Just so disrespectful. Just such a weird thing to do. Just a hateful act in front of her for no reason. These are the moments, dude. As the Nans say, these are the moments. These are the moments. Crawling out of that cinema's a moment for her. She'll talk about that blue Captiva that threw a mini cheesecake at someone's car window for no reason and then laughed. These are the moments. Memories for you, Sheila. You'll fucking remember that before you wait when dementia hits. She'll remember that.
I've just identified a fallacy. Okay?
Yeah.
You're saying that all of these things with enough money are just eccentric, or they blow people's minds. And I'm saying that they are indicators of mental illness. Now, if we get down to the objective reality of it, you are mentally ill. So this is an indicator of mental illness.
No, but
and you are mentally ill. So actually, it's not the thing you said. It is an indicator of mental illness. And people should be afraid, man. That's why people are afraid of someone who's yelling to themselves on a train.
There's a fundamental argument about whether conformity into the construct is by definition mental illness. That rejection of the idea and the willingness to talk at a funeral and get your dick out and scream actually makes you the most sane in the room. The need to conform with other people and to seek refuge in a group and feel like that gives you some sort of enlightened being, you're actually the furthest away from home. Home's in you. You do whatever the fuck you want always. You're not insane. You're free. You're free from judgment. You're free from captivity, dude. No one's insane. It's insane to follow the group. It's actually better to be outside of their boundaries. You're actually more sane. That's what I'm saying to you. No one's insane. It's a curve. It's a spectrum.
Some people are insane. Man.
I would say that I would contest that someone that just gives up their consciousness to Rio Tinto and then gets a mortgage and then eventually goes around to the movies and watches Napoleon was insane.
Yes.
To give it up that easily and to live a life of such little meaning is insanity manifest.
Yeah, but you're talking about two binary outcomes.
Yeah, I'm talking about extremes.
So you're not talking about any shade of grey in between, because there are plenty of people who don't necessarily conform.
Yeah.
But also not at the complete extreme end where they are wearing like formal wear to go for a swim or wearing a beekeeper's outfit to go to the supermarket. I'm just saying that in this specific scenario, the indicator of mental illness is actually a very accurate indicator of mental illness.
Yeah, well, but guess what? There's no sanity on this planet. There's none. It's not achievable.
This is something that someone who refused talk therapy would say.
Dude, no, because it's just people getting comfort from other people's reassurance. It doesn't make it valid. Just because a million people tell you something's right doesn't make it valid. And it's been proven time and time again. Because all of technology and everything that we enjoy has come from a handful of outliers. The general populace does not move the dial forward. They fucking leech of old people's ideas. And what I'm saying to you, seeking assurance of the populace is guaranteed mediocrity. Like, you cannot, just because everyone at T-Ball agrees with you, actually means you're wrong.
Yeah.
Because by definition, these people are Egyptian slaves. They have no value. They have no insight. They're worthless. So you might keep warm with them, but don't think you're fucking getting any revelations from that herd.
I agree with you, and I'm not saying you're wrong. And I do think that there is a lot of value in unique perspective and all of that stuff. I'm just saying that in this specific instance, the things that you are describing are indicators of mental illness, and that's the reason that someone would be concerned or the quite literal one where it looks like you're a man who keeps bees running away from something. People assume it's going to be a big swarm of bees.
Yeah.
And in this specific instance, it is a very accurate indicator of mental illness.
But it is weird that it gets a visceral response, because if you were truly comfortable, you would just ignore it or you'd feel compassion about it. But the fact people get angry tells me that they are trying to control you. Because whenever you go outside of these boundaries, you're not met with just ignoring or lack of interest. A lot of people get very angry and try, like, actually challenge you. Like, they get cross.
Who's getting angry at you? In what way?
Basically, people get frustrated if you're not doing what you're expected to. They're like, what? Why? Everything's not stable if we're not all just doing this. What's he fucking doing? Why is he on top of his car? What the fuck's this cunt doing? I don't feel comfortable. We've got an agreement. Everything's going to work out fine if we just all go along with the deal, right? Just go along with the status quo, do and be seen to do what everyone else is doing. What the fuck? Of course no one wants to talk at a funeral. You don't want to be... It doesn't matter how much you loved him. It's embarrassing. It's, Lord forbid someone hears your views. That's why people are so scared to talk, because everyone's so fucking scared about exposing the fact they don't agree with half of it and being in the wrong. The reason people are very hesitant to express their ideas is because they're actually not sure what the fuck's expected from them. They just want to make sure they're part of the group.
Yeah, because, of course it it stirs up a visceral reaction when you are doing the opposite thing to what you evolutionarily should be doing, which is trying to attracting attention to yourself.
Do you know what'd be crazy is they do it with when cops get two kids and they say they've both dobbed on you, they've both fucking shirted you, and do you know, you get every human in a witness room and ask them questions, and I reckon by about the 300th question they start to get fucking panicky, that going, well, are these right? What do I actually think? I think there's a saturation point for most people where they'd start to get very worried without any visual clues about, hang on, well, I don't know. Do we do this? Do you know what I mean?
Sorry. So you need to give more context for this example.
What I'm saying to you is a lot of people take visuals and cues of other people to make their decisions of what's acceptable, what's conventional. I'm saying isolate a human in a room and then run them through a series of questioning, and they'll eventually get exhausted and panicky because they don't have any input from anyone else, and they start to get panicky going I don't know, what's the rule? What has everyone agreed? Do we swim with suits? I need to watch an episode of Friends. Can someone put something on? I need to fucking take visual cues of other people. You've had me in a room for days now. I don't know. I just want to jack off into my own mouth and scratch my name on the wall. Exactly, can't. You've got some of it in you. Do you know what I'm saying?
What are we trying to convince the person of in the room?
If you know how someone's scared to talk in public for fear of being exposed as not part of the group.
Sure.
And I'm saying if you could take someone into a room and question them for 10 days about social etiquette, they'll eventually end up just melting and having a panic attack and breaking down and going, don't show anyone this video. I don't know what's right. Do we wear Crocs? Do we wear a hat up? Or do girls have fringes? I don't know. Should we have fringes? Is a beard a homosexual? I don't know. Which earring do we put the ear in? Can we wear socks? Do you pull your socks up or do the socks down? I don't know what people are doing at the moment. Are leather jackets in? Is fucking Crocs in? Crocs are out, dickhead. What the fuck? What are we into? Do we tint our hair? Do we look like Shane Warne? Who are we following? Kanye West shoes? Fuck, I haven't seen any of it. Is Paris Hilton famous anymore? What the fuck? What I'm saying is they're not leaders. They just follow everything.
But you could convince anyone of anything under these circumstances. This is a confession under duress.
No, I'm talking about the meltdown. I'm talking about the meltdown. If you expose them to enough questioning, they'll eventually realize that they're a fucking feeder fish that's been following their whole life.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
And that is my point. That's what I'm trying to do in comedy. And then they eventually realize you're a non-playable character, dude. You're a non-playable. I fucking proved it. 20 days of questioning and you eventually broke down and you go, I just do whatever I see on MTV. I don't know. I don't know what. I don't know why I wear Crocs. Are they good? I just fucking fucked. And then I'm like, exactly. Now I've got you where I want. Now you can work at the Wolf Enterprise. And we'll grow you up. And this is how Charlie and the Chocolate Factory got the Oompa Loompas. This is how they're made.
You've expanded on your non-playable character premise to the point where it has become flawed because you've tried to turn it into like a universal theory of everything.
No,
but it's now started applying to like this man pushes trolleys for a living. He's 17. He must be not anyone who doesn't.
My mission.
He's not eating the right kinds of cake. That proves it. Anyone who works that type of job and eats this type of cake.
My mission is to find a tell. Do you know you can tell someone's lying and their eye twitches? So it might be like Last Christmas, Mariah Carey's, or I'm in love with your body. I want a trigger where I can put it in a room and I can see there. That guy's not moving. He's he's a good one. The rest, burn them. Do you know what I mean? I want to be able to whittle it out.
Like, do you recognize that you're demanding your own specific type of conformity? It's just to standards that you've created yourself.
Yeah. But I'm asking this question. If you can strip away your ego, can you come to terms with your mediocrity? Is it possible within your lifetime to realize that you are nothing? That you were worthless, that you were a failed experiment? Because they obviously, by population and by output, it's apparent that that's the truth, right, for most people. But coming to know yourself in ice baths and Wim Hof and fucking mindfulness, to accept that, have people got to that level of insight where you realize you're worthless in a way? Not worthless, right? You're a human being and you can have output and you can have kids, but that you're not special. Does everyone... do people get to that point, or do everyone always think tomorrow's going to be better?
Or do people have the initial premise that they are in some way special, or is it more the fact that
unbelievable
that you think you're in the past?
That's unbelievable.
You've thought you're in some way special.
So these people always knew that they would just get on with it. We're just lucky to be alive.
And maybe the reason that this is so interesting to you is because you've had an illusion of
grandeur,
of being special shattered, and you're grappling with that.
Unbelievable. So these cunts were born and they knew from the beginning they were a mere slave.
Yeah.
What a way to live, dude. I always thought everyone thought, well, it might improve tomorrow.
This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about, an indicator of mental illness.
I never thought that people had actually accepted their lot. I always thought that the only thing that kept any human going was the prospect of it improving. That most people's life is merely imagining a better life in the future, and that's what kept people alive.
Don't you think that the majority of people that you've met and worked with or gone to school with or whatever, they're generally quite self-effacing and humble and not they're quite content, and the ostracizing thing is
dude. You know what I find them? You might find them content. I find them a yawn festival, boring as fuck. Fucking scratching your nails down a chalkboard personalities, just a series of cliches and loop thinking and just fucking insufferable. Fuck the amount of time I've spent just enduring their fucking fluffy shit. Do you know what I mean? Just the worst. I'm like, almost every person, you're like, did you even need to talk? Was it even fucking worth it when you reflect back? Did you ever say anything that would why bother? If we think about it, why bother? Did you really need to call someone with that idea?
Is being content a negative trait? Isn't that sort of an admirable goal? Isn't that what you would like to have?
Dude, I just find it insane to me. Like, I'll be in a chat, putting in a message, asking about or something. I'm like, what is going on? Like, we've got mechanisms to find these answers. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, why are we engaging in this? I don't want it.
Yeah, because most people are seeking a sense of community and they'd be happy to talk about.
I don't want community.
Yeah, and you don't want that.
I'm like, what the fuck? I'll get my own satellite. I don't need fucking your input.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'd rather get a bad satellite than share an idea with other people. Like, I don't want to sit around the fire and share experiences. That is the proof I'm insane. I don't want the comfort of a group.
Yeah. Well, because are you still claiming to be special and unique?
I'm not claiming to be special, but what I'll say is I would rather get ripped off and overpay on my phone contract than have to connect with a group on a WhatsApp asking advice on what printer or what phone package is best to go. That is how much I detest. I don't want trivial community spawned off just fucking admin. I'd rather not have a connection.
In the past, have you self-identified the quality of being special?
No, I'm not going to go down this route.
Why?
This makes me look like an asshole.
I don't think it makes anyone look like an arsehole. I think it's fine.
I always thought that everyone lived in the hope that things improved. That's all that kept anyone going. I never actually thought anyone enjoyed the now. I thought the only thing that we're all clinging on to is, fuck, one day we might get the golden ticket and get the fuck out of this nightmare.
But we've talked about that, man. We've talked about the idea of being discontent and how that's a drive.
Well, I'm just saying I'd never understood that people had made peace with this existence and that's what they were accepting of that. I thought literally everyone was just hanging out, hoping to win lotto or getting 9 Powerballs and getting the fuck out of this. I didn't think anyone even thought this was worth a fucking jot.
Yeah, man. I think during school, I was put in gifted classes and shit, and you're told all this stuff all the time.
Yeah.
And how everyone's special and unique.
Yeah.
It's not even something to be considered. It's just it's just a known fact.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily impact anything in a meaningful way or make you feel superior to other people, but it's like eventually you go, no, that's not true, or it's ridiculous to think that.
Oh, dude, I love it because we had a gifted guy in primary school and I looked him up and he was very low at Rio Tinto and I was like tempted to send him on LinkedIn a photo of the PIAC certificate and go, how'd that work out for you? Gifted. Go and get someone a coffee, bitch. You have no people skills. Do you know? Because the greatest gift is people skills.
Mm.
That is much better gift than processing data, is ability to regale people and charm them.
Yeah.
That is the ultimate gift. And that's why you can tell they go, he's gifted. And he goes, I'm gifted. I'm like, not gifted enough not to get bullied, cunt. Most people know how to grapple the environment and end up popular. The fact that you're like, I'm gifted. I'm like, well, I don't think you are, because I would have navigated a very different way around these bullies that have fucking bike chains and whipping people in the back of the head. Hey, I think you're probably better off to get a mullet and fucking fail a few tests, cunt. Hey, and maybe make up for it on the back end. You do a little bit more work in uni once people's puberty has settled down and it's a bit more of a calming environment. You might be able to lift your grades then. Don't know if you should be pushing it in the face of a divorced kid that's just going through puberty. Don't think you should rile them up with a 100% score on your physics. Maybe not the smartest of plays. Maybe get 80 and get the other kid bullied and go get him.
If you've thought that everyone felt this like an urge, a discontented drive, or the need to achieve something, then it's obvious that you felt that way, and you. Dude,
I always had a calling to try do something. I always wanted to, and it never happened. And it is very distressing with some of the scenarios living in Perth. But I'm like, I would sooner shoot myself in my own head than like live a mediocre life.
Yeah,
and I would even go as far as maybe I need to shoot some other people at least get in the in the annals of time. Columbine is better than. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think that's a negative trait.
I would never do that, dude, because I feel like there's mechanisms to get it in a positive way. It's the same story as it's sort of like the drug dealers where they go like Al Capone or whatever, and they're like quite a good businessman, probably could have just set up Disney, could have run something different. A lot of them are very resourceful people and very good with people, and most of it is people management. Do you know what I mean? Like the big drug dealers, do you know, and politics and managing relationships. And I'm like, yeah, dude, that's what the head of Rio Tinto does. You could have just fucking learned a couple of ledger entries, gone up the accounting route, and then done the exact same backstabbery that you did as El Capo. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
Same game, except you're appreciated by society. You're Andrew Forrest.
You're in the dark triangle of mental illness already.
What's this?
If you're already in the dark triangle of mental illness, like psychopathy or Machiavellianism or narcissism, then you're perfectly suited to being this executive of a company.
It's what I always said. You don't have bipolar if the delusions come off.
Yeah. If everyone is following you, you're not paranoid.
If you have mania and then you go, I'm going to make this 100 mil on the stock.
Yeah.
It is conceivable because, like we said, a monkey with a dart can make 100 mil.
Yeah.
So it's not outside of the realms of possibility because you can roll heads for the infinity.
Mm. Yeah, of course.
Anything can happen. Anything can happen. So I'm saying even those delusions, it still might happen because it can. Because, you know, things like that do happen. Lightning can strike twice.
Yeah, that's why the paranoid people are the safest to tail.
Yeah, man.
Like they've cried wolf too many times. Yeah, but I don't think you're not describing negative. Like no one's gonna think, oh, what an asshole. I think it's more like,
no, dude, you're trying to pin me on a riff. I don't want to get down too deep.
I'm not trying to pin you on a riff. I'm
hot
just
and heavy and like, yeah, I think I'm fucking Napoleon.
No. I'm just expanding on an idea.
Napoleon. All you want to do is pin me on a Napoleon complex. That's what you're trying to do.
I'm not trying to do that. I'm just trying to expand on an idea.
It's the Napoleon complex. You've read it on Wikipedia and you're trying to pin that tail on this donkey. I don't want it, okay?
Do you want to do
Picks of the week?
Oh, mate.
Do that and then wrap it up.
Dude, did we get the photo of Dan Ilick and his AI support crew that I sent through to you on Twitter?
Was that from...
Oh, Comedian of the Year, Podcast Awards.
Oh, from what's the fucking called? I can't remember.
The Australian Podcast Awards.
Irrational fear. Yeah.
Irrational fear. I'm like, it's totally rational, dude. You are mediocre, okay? I know, I'm joking. I hope he listens. You know why? Come at me, fuckers. I spit in the bin now. I used to spit in the mirror, now I spit in the bin. Okay? Dude, you know what? That is the fear, right? Because you want to be liked. You want to be creative, right? And you want to make comedy, but then you also want to be part of the comedy community and liked. And then you realize that maybe the best move is to not be liked and to start just fucking taking headshots at anything not pinned down. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Because it seems like the best move. The best move to take control of a drug channel is to fucking take out the head dealers with headshots and fucking rough. You know what? Carl, what's his name? Carl fucking...
Barron.
Carl Williams. He taught it, dude. Carl Williams was the dealer, the MDMA dealer from over east. But I'm like, what do you do?
Wait, is this Underbelly again?
Underbelly, but I'm like, you want to make an impact on the comedy scene?
I thought Carl Barron. I thought you were talking about comedians. I'm so confused.
Carl Williams, Carl Barron, it's the same thing. Ruffle some feathers. You've got to go. You want to get your albums launched? Go to Jerry Seinfeld and heckle him from the thing. And then go like, and then he goes, come up and do better. And you go, actually, I will. And then try to do your hour. Go like, he goes, come up. And you come up and you go like, what's the deal with a guy that won't express anything about his personality? What's the deal with a man that won't reveal any of his inner truth? What's the deal with this shit?
So TG6, man, one of the few companies to have a cap raise and not use it to just fucking line their pockets, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, dude.
That's not the ASX way of doing things, man.
Very frustrating though, man, because the cap raise was coming and it was like, that was at 32 cents. Now they've done it at 75 for 8 mil. 6 mil, but they might have a surplus to 8 mil, $8 million for their drill. But also done a week before the drill results. Now, they would have had visuals. So very, very scary move because they've had visuals, right? And I'm like, ooh, a bit jumpy to pull the life raft. You know what I mean? They could have literally laid it a week. So it will be very, very interesting. Is it giving the boys a cheap last entry as it launches? Because it's only 40 mil market cap. It's still peanuts. Is it getting boys locked and loaded for the news? It'll be interesting to see. Because if it is good drill, it'll probably fucking churn through that and get to the 100 mil mark. And they'll all be locked and loaded. But it's going to be interesting for me to decide whether I take the profit or do I enjoy another missed opportunity and all that sympathy that comes with that.
Or do we finally diversify the portfolio? Have you sold out of TPD now that it's it hit 20 cents?
Oh, dude, I've been slowly funding it across, but I'm waiting for SE3 results, which should be on Monday.
Okay.
And that should jack it up. But with my contract for difference, dude, like I can make close to 100 grand if it gets to 25 cents.
That's pretty good. Oh,
man, well, I mean,
it's only like what do you say, like a week and a half, I think, until December 7, and that's when.
Dude, and you know what's so good about it? And then I can get in Hazar, quadruple. And what I've realized is that I've been looking at rentals, and I'm like, rentals are so cheap. If I make a few mil and never buy a house, I never have to work again, dude. I just rent. Absolute shittery. And because once the kids are 18, I couldn't give a fuck. I'll live in a tent, dude. I'm only doing it for appearances for their friends and their other mums. I'm happy to live in a fucking swag on the Trig Beach. Couldn't give a shit.
Have you gone to any more rental inspections?
Oh, dude, well, you know what's the worst? That rental, it all went through. And she said, it's been put to the owner. And I go, hey, the rent's pretty cheap. Like, is this the number that people are putting through? Because it seems to be about $100 less than anything in this market. And she goes, well, I can't tell you that. That's our indication. It's that much a week. And I'm going, well, it seems unusual. It's the cheapest I've ever seen. You can only get an apartment for that. So I said, I put a little bit more on, but I'm like, I think the fact I live at my parents should be the big selling point for me. Dude, but like, so good. Because I make a little bit on TBD. So good. Because once I've ticked that box and I've got my own fucking place, then all the giggles, you know, have to stop. Because I'm doing what they're all doing, aren't I? I've got a backyard. I've got a sprinkling system. We've got a mounted TV. We've got a kettle. We've got lawn. We get the paper delivered. Are you happy, fuckheads? Have I done enough to fit in?
Living at your parents is a bigger indicator of distress than having... than renting a place is an indicator of being a fucking sheep, man.
Dude, once I get my rented house and then I'll be like, yeah, I've got it. Pleased? Dude, that's all they want. Own a house. That's their dream. That's everyone's dream, if they're being honest, is safe passage through this realm. That's everyone's dream. Don't worry about expressing yourself or finding the true you. Just safe passage will do for me, sir. I want somewhere where I can die safely and not be pestered because I own it.
I think you can do both, man.
Well, I think most people quickly, cowards knock, bail and just want safe passage at the expense of their own self-happiness.
Man, you know what, dude? You know what it is? This is the lyrics to the Smashing Pumpkins song, Bullet with Butterfly Wings. Despite all my rage, I'm still just a rat in a cage. That's what you're expressing, man.
You know what? I loved that track.
Yeah, I bet you do, man.
I was like, that's so good.
You're like, finally someone fucking gets me, despite I'm the rat in the cage, and I'm angry about it.
I am overwhelmed because you know what? An hour and a half clamoring around looking for the light switch. That's what I was trying to say the whole time. I just couldn't fucking articulate it. I wonder why I struggle to be a comedian. It's very hard for me to express my ideas in a succinct, meaningful format like that goddamn Jerry Seinfeld 3 words talking about feeling uncomfortable in first class. Maybe if you'd worked a little harder. Perfect. The snobbery of it all, Jerry. You're killing it, Jerry. No one even knows Jerry's fucking middle name. The guy's a fucking AI robot. Is he real? What's the deal with fucking napkins? What the fuck is this shit? He's a Christmas cracker, dude. He is so irrelevant. He's touring Australia. Fucking he bring a shotgun and kill himself on stage. We've had enough. I've had enough of this smug fuck. Is he good? He was good in the 80s. I like Seinfeld, the show, but his stand-up is fucking smelly.
Yeah, I mean, it's old, dude. That's the big thing. Like, you can appreciate it, but it's still old, right? It's not breaking new ground.
You know why? You can appreciate the autism, like the way that he fucking finickered and sweated over every word and line, but as a behavioural thing to spend so long fashioning the words to perfection is a mental health issue.
Yeah.
Do you know, it's not normal
No.
to drip over the words to go like, no, and we'll do the. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's not a fun person. A guy that sits with a notepad and goes, umbrella spinny. Do you know, like trying to get the words? That's a nerd.
But what more do people want from, like, if you want something else from Jerry Seinfeld, well, that's on you. Like, he is his thing. To want something else from him is crazy.
Dude, this is what I want. This is how I know how people would get angry. I want Jerry Seinfeld to play Napoleon in that movie I've just watched. And him doing that doggy style sex scene and going, take it. What's the deal with fucking wives? And then just have him running and going like, we'll kill them all. It's winter, fuckhead. We can't cross through to Russia. Fuck off. But you know what I mean? Like, I would love Jerry Seinfeld to play Napoleon, a monster, and then just go like, and people couldn't handle it, could they? Ricky Gervais playing fucking a serial killer in a movie? They probably could with Ricky. But Jerry, what about Jerry? What about Jerry playing Napoleon? Could he do it?
That wouldn't be a good one, man. But like some of the best roles ever, like Jim Carrey in Eternal Sunshine. You know?
Yeah, it's good.
And Truman Show. And then fucking Robin Williams.
Anytime Robin Williams didn't have to be, as he got more money and wasn't so needy for the laugh, a genius and such a good, earnest, good actor, man.
It's funny though, you watch like Good Will Hunting and you think, wow, that's amazing. And then you watch something like Patch Adams afterwards and it's, oh my God, like this is the Jerry Seinfeld in that role this is what I would have expected from that. It's fucking atrocious.
Oh, yeah. And you know what's crazy? Those in all movies, all the best lines were just improv. And they're going like, that wasn't even scripted. And I'm like, yeah, because that's real. And the whole artifice of acting and writing sucks. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's why Curb Your Enthusiasm is so good. They don't script it.
They don't. Do you know they don't script it, man? They just have like the outline.
The natural reaction's better. Every movie where they go like, guess what? You know that bit in Schindler's List? Wasn't scripted.
That red coat wasn't supposed to be there. It was all supposed to be black and white. They were supposed to be dressed in black and white. And some girl wore a little red coat. And he thought, you know what? That's going to be the fucking movie. Steven Spielberg thought, that's going to be the fucking movie.
And you know why it happened? Because that was the only bit outside of the electric cage. The pig jumped out of the cage and did something unexpected. And people lost their mind.
Yeah, dude, despite all my rage, I'm still just a pig in a cage.
And they were like, I wasn't expecting that. He should have responded to the electricity, but he just did something wild. And you know, and that's the great moment. But anyway, if you're looking for an opener, I'm willing to bite my tongue and pretend to enjoy your act to get access to some of your pensioner crowd and see if I can offend these non-playable characters by sniffing my fingers in the auditorium.
I think this is just you realizing that you are the non-playable character, man. Like the simulation is going to keep going, and no matter what, you are stuck in it.
Do you know when you realize that you're never going to make it as a comedian is when you realize that if you had the opportunity to open for Jerry Seinfeld, that it would go atrociously. My act opening for that would be so badly received. It's actually incredible for me.
Dude, but what about like despite all the shit talking, it's still like if Jerry reached out to you and was like, man, I think you're funny, you'd be like, oh, I love your work. I can't wait. I'll be there. I'll open for you. I'll do anything.
Dude, I'm hidden in there. You know what I mean? Like I'm what's it called?
Pig boy.
Not a big boy. What's a
pig?
A
I said pig boy.
I'm a mole. I'm in there, but I'm just noticing things and waiting to just like betray him with inside information.
It feels like, Wolfie, you've got to come to LA with me. I want you to live in my house.
Oh,
you'd be in his guest bedroom. You'd be like, this is the greatest. I love.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Have you tried Vegemite? Let's riff about Vegemite. I love you, Jerry. I love you.
No, until you know what happens. He exposes me and he goes, "What are you doing in there?" Nothing. I'm just recording a podcast. What's the podcast? What's the deal with Jerry, dude? We've gone viral. I've been recording your real combos. Everyone knows who you are, Jerry. Everyone knows who you are. And he's like, you motherfucker. I've recorded everything. I heard you talking to your Filipino cleaner. I've got it. What's the deal with Jerry Seinfeld? Nah, expose him.
You would never betray Jerry's friendship like that, man. I know it.
You know, I actually wouldn't. I would honor him because I would be very appreciative of him getting me out of this slave trade. And I'd be like, mate, I don't care what you do with your Filipino cleaner. I'm loving this infinity pool. Who gives a fuck? Let's write some more fucking pullback and reveals and be done with this shit. Who gives a fuck? Hey, what's the deal with nuts, dude? Why are we chewing the nuts, man? Anyway, I better go, dude.
Man, if you want to go, or we do 15 more minutes.
I really can't do it because I'm literally going to go mental because I have to drive to Fremantle and do another gig, which I hate.
Which gig?
Well, what time's it now? What time's it in my world?
It is 3:40.
No, so this is my life. I will drive from here, and it's already 4. And I have to leave because I've got to go to Fremantle. So if I go any longer, I can't do anything today besides service other people. The pod audience, the fucking T-ball shit, a bowling thing, whatever. Dude, the bowling party had a poor turnout.
What was the bowling party for?
I asked my son, I'm like, is this kid getting bullied? These numbers are bad.
This is a kid's birthday party. How old is the kid?
I say, is he getting bullied? I said, this is a dismal turnout. To my son. Like,
what was the present you brought? I'm always interested in like what you have to fucking buy him.
Very bad present because an afterthought. I got a present that we hadn't bothered to use from Christmas and just wrapped it.
What was it?
It was like a robotic hand that looked too complicated to build, and I can't do this.
A robotic hand?
Like a hand that you build, and then you can wear it and like pick things up. But it was actually too much commitment for the parent, so I was like, I'm not doing that. The box was marginally ripped, and I taped it and just said, your problem, handball. I'm not spending 9 hours with my kids. You can do it. It's fucking like intricate little parts that you had to build.
And how many people were at the birthday party? Versus what was your expectation?
Oh, dude, only a handful from the school. The rest were family and friends that are obviously forced because blood's thicker than water.
Yeah.
Once you're at school age, you should have no family there and go, I don't need them. You only come back to them later when you're older.
You don't have family. You never have family come to birthday things. That's embarrassing, man.
Dude, that's what the thing. Sometimes my boy will try to hug me and show affection at school. I'm like, never do that. Pull a finger at me and tell me to fucking kill myself. Come on, mate. We're building friend groups here. Don't be a pussy. Don't you ever hug me publicly, not on the school grounds. Spit at me and go, you loser, get a job. I'm like, build your friend base, son. I don't need any fucking friends here. Use me to elevate, idiots.
Leveraging your home, margin personal loans, hedged by put contracts, holding 15 overexposed bad positions, looming threat of liquidation. Everybody wants to rule the world.
Wow, what a great show. If you want more Sure Thing, check out the Patreon. Longer episodes, Patreon exclusive episodes every week. And most importantly, it's the best way to show you care. Patreon.com, Sure Thing.